Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the FearFans. Everything right, Nick?
Yeah, everything's fine. Just fix on my mic.
Okay.
Go ahead. Keep going while I'm doing this.
Yep. Evening, everybody. Welcome to the FearFans Podcast. I'm your host, Don Elmy, and with me here is my co-host, Nick Moulet. And so tonight we decided to finally dive into the subgenre of found footage horror. And there's plenty of examples of it throughout history. One of the earliest examples I can think of is Cannibal Holocaust, one film that I refuse to watch ever. Yeah, one film that I refuse to watch. I refuse to watch that ever again. Here.
Though it did serve an important role for inspiring the Blair Witch Project, but other than that, it is a nasty film.
Yes, and then there's then there was Blair Witch Project, and also is that it fixed, Nick?
You okay, Don?
Yeah, you were kind of
everything's fine.
Okay, it's just that it's making
it's fixed now, but I'm having some connection issues. Are you fine on my side?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, and then there were other examples like one of the biggest.
Okay, yeah. Here, just keep going.
And one of the most popular now is the Paranormal Activity franchise, and then there was also Cloverfield. But out of all of the found footage horror films that I have seen, only one I consider the most terrifying, and it's not Blair Witch Project, and it's not Paranormal Activity. It is a Spanish found footage horror film called Rec, short for record.
Which did. I should say this did come out the same year Paranormal Activity did, 2007, if I'm correct.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, correct. 2007 is when it aired in Spain, and then which led to a few sequels, and I feel like they're actually making a new one, like a fifth one.
Really?
Yeah.
Billy, I'm kind of a combination. I'm in a dark. I'm in my room / office, which is I have the lights off, and I'm using. I'm also in black and white too. So it's on both. The first Cloverfield is found footage. The sequels moved away. Yes, they did.
It did. It drifted from there. Yeah, I feel like they're like the Rec has kind of done that to some extent, especially with the fourth film. Like it was just mixing found footage with. Thought the fourth was the last one. Yeah, so did I. Until I learned recently that they may or may not be working on a fifth film.
So if they do make a fifth one, are they? Do you know what year? Like when we should be expecting it, or they don't have any plans yet?
I'm not sure. I don't know if anything's like officially set in stone just yet. But the fifth one is the first.
Okay.
Yeah, the fifth one. I'm not sure, but the first one, Rec, like that was like the absolute best out of all of them. I mean, the second one is pretty good. The third one was just not that great. Fourth one was all right. Yeah, third one isn't found footage either. Yep,
you're always going to have your
right.
Yeah,
you're absolutely right.
You're always going to have your sequel. You're always going to have your sequels. Like some of them are going to be good, others aren't going to be so good.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, there's one other found footage franchise that I forgot to mention. VHS, another one that I'm fond of.
VHS, yep, that's another one.
Yeah, with the exception of the third one, VHS Viral. No,
I never saw that one, so I only saw the first two.
Good. But 94 VHS 94 and 99 are worth seeing. I consider 94 to be the best out of all of them. But anyway, so Rec takes place in Spain. I'm trying to remember which town it takes place in. Barcelona.
I was going to say, wasn't it in Barcelona?
Barcelona, that's right.
Okay.
So this film focuses on a late night news reporter, Angela Vidal, who she was played by Manuela Velasco. Manuela Velasco. That's her name. Yeah, she was like I think she was like in her 30s back then when she started in that film. Yeah, so
I was thinking late 20s, early 30s, somewhere around.
Yeah, she had that look to her.
Yeah.
And she is teaming up with her cameraman Pablo to join to do basically this human interest story, focusing on the night shift of their fire department. And everything seems routine, but then they end up getting a call that becomes not so routine.
Yeah. far from the usual.
Yep, they get called to a apartment complex that has a disturbance involving an old woman in the upper level, and this old woman becomes becomes far more than they bargained for when she chomps right into a cop's neck, just rips his neck out, and then when they go downstairs to try to get get him out of the building, the whole building's been quarantined, sealed off by governments, military, and they're all trapped inside, and everything just goes downhill from there.
Yeah, and when it comes to obviously, I don't want to say this because it's too soon, but a lot of times whenever these movies involve quarantine and horror movies, it's never a good thing. So that's just usually a recipe for disaster when you're not even allowed to leave and flee to safety.
Yep, especially when they're everybody out there is armed with guns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As I would probably, if I saw something like that, I would have yelled out, "There's only one reason why they contain it: the governments."
Isn't it always the case? Isn't that always the case? But so there are, I just love first of all, like as far as the characters go, I just love how incredibly diverse that. Oh, here Billy says I think she was a television personality in real life. Now well that would make sense.
It would.
Like let's see. I would definitely want a English speaking sequel reboot movie series or with Manuela Velasco returning. That would be pretty nice.
I was going to say, wasn't there already an English reboot that was made? Or I thought you told me that there was some like English version that they made of that movie.
Well, there's an American version that was released the next year called Quarantine. It was basically almost
that was Quarantine. Okay.
Yeah, it was like a remake that wasn't doing that much different other than trying to really make the virus like a rabies virus in that, like the whole foaming at the mouth, the violent behavior, those kinds of things.
Okay.
But that doesn't beat this for me.
The original is always the best.
Oh yeah. Quarantine. Oh, here.
Quarantine.
Billy's saying Quarantine wasn't that good. Yeah, I do agree. I did see it in theaters. I just thought it was just meh. But then I found out what it was based on, what it was remade from. I found out it was a remake of Wreck, and so I saw Wreck, and I immediately loved that one better.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, you got to always look into the original ones. The original ones are way better. I mean, even if they add, because I know you showed me that a few years ago, and I know they have the English dub version, which I know sometimes English dubbing doesn't always really, fit in with what people are saying, but it's better. Honestly, I would rather deal with English dubbing of a foreign film than dealing with a full remake where it's not as good as the original one is.
Oh yeah, I mean, there's been a lot of times where I've watched international films where it's obvious that they dub it in English because what the characters you see in this, the lips don't match with the English, so it's like obvious they were originally speaking a completely different language. Like, look at this, I got all these Godzilla movies where all Japanese films and it's English dubbed, and
yep,
so it's it's noticeable.
I never really noticed that. Like when I used to watch those, when I used to watch foreign movies. Yeah, I never really I never really noticed until only really a few years ago that thinking, their lips don't match with what they say.
Yeah. Oh, here, Billy wanted to say something else. Also,
Doc,
the poster. Yeah. What's going on?
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm having some connection issues. So if I freeze, just continue talking. I'm trying to work things out. So I'm not sure what's going on. So just don't worry about me. Just keep going.
Okay. So also the poster for Quarantine spoiled the ending for in the poster and the trailer. Yeah, where she gets dragged off. Yeah, I see what you're saying, Billy. Like, yeah, I didn't even know that was like the ending until I saw the film, and I'm like, oh, okay, that's what the poster was. Yeah, like I remember seeing that Quarantine back in 2008, and knowing completely nothing about the found footage masterpiece it was based on.
Yeah.
And so let's see. Okay.
Yeah,
Billy's also
he has a
saying,
question.
Okay, Don and Nick, do you have the Rec Blu-ray box set by Scream Factory? I do not.
I don't
I
have it either.
No, but I do have the digital copy on it, like so I can just watch it on my phone whenever. So that's good enough for me. Hello,
Hey,
Nick.
Nick's.
Thank you
Hey,
so much for
Steve.
joining us.
Good to see you,
Hello,
Steve,
Steve.
from CGH, Steve's Ghost Hunters. Good to see you.
Yep, thank you for joining us. So, like I said, Rec has inspired that remake and also has led to, like I said, 3 sequels. The second one is definitely the better sequel, because it's like immediate continuation of the events from the first film, and where a bunch of soldiers go in, they're all armed with pistols and machine guns, and you would think that would make a difference and give them the upper hand, but no. But so in the first wreck, turns out that the whole thing is a virus that causes extreme aggression, violent behavior, and is like inspired by, I guess, cases of rabies. But when they discover in the end the whole twist behind why all this is happening is absolutely chilling.
It's horrifying, I would even say. I mean, it's like you didn't expect it the way it was. You literally would think at first that this would just be another simple movie involving infections and disease. We've seen movies like that. We see what
Yeah.
I can give a good example, like not necessarily, but if you look at a movie like 28 Days Later, that dealt with
Hmm.
an infectious disease. Anyone who got infected with it, with the rage virus, would just go mad, and they're not technically zombie. To be clear, yeah, they're not technically zombies, but it
Right.
drives them absolutely crazy and causes them to kill people. You kind of were, I think, originally expecting thing, and at first you probably would think, this seems a lot like 28 Days Later, because it seems like it's involving anyone who gets infected by this virus, goes into this extremely violent, almost cannibalistic zombie-like nature, like behavior. But like you said, once you get to the end, as you get closer to the end of the movie, you find out the truth. And no, it's not exactly what. It's not just your typical biological rage-like disease. It's something else, far beyond something else.
Oh yes, and but yeah, that's scary about 28 days later and 28 weeks later, and there's like I think the new one, 28 months later, I think they're calling it. But
28 months
anyway,
later.
yeah, I know, right? But yeah, these creatures in that it's just what's terrifying about that virus in 28 days later is just how quickly it was able to spread. Because once somebody gets like bitten or has like a saliva or blood spattered on them, then it's instantaneous. They turn within seconds. Like so that's what makes 28 days later like a horrific film. And
Yeah, definitely.
oh yes. And what I think one of the scariest things about being infected in Rec is the noises that these things make. Like they make the
Oh
most horrific
God.
sound. They make the most horrific sounds when they attack people. Here, let me just give an example. Like I said, I have it on
Yeah,
my phone.
it is just it's just bone chilling with the noises that they make. They do not make your typical. It's not like, again, other films like zombie films. They don't make your typical noises like the moans or groans or screams that they make. It's it's far different when it comes to the infected and wreck.
Oh yeah. Like and let me just pull it up here. I think there's this one particular scene I got on here. Hang on. Yep, hang on. I think it's the part where hang on. Right here.
Sounds so inhuman. It's just a
Yeah.
very almost like demonic type sound they make. It's just this completely like unholy, inhuman noise that they make that you can't even really describe.
Yeah, like if I were to hear that without any context of this film, hear that sound, I'm just like, what is that noise? What kind of animal makes that noise? Like seriously, that's like one of the most chilling aspects of these infected people to
It's a
me, as
very
far as
disturbing noise.
it is. Man, it's just unsettling.
Yeah.
And yeah, then
Very unsettling.
what foxes?
Oh, hey,
He
Sarah.
make that? Hello, Sarah. He make that noise? Okay.
I don't
I would.
remember
I
that.
would
I don't
know.
ever remember hearing something like that before.
Yeah, I never heard of any kind of animal make that kind of noise. I don't know. Like I was thinking maybe they just took some kind of an animal sound effect and like altered it, like using audio editing. But man, just
See, I'm
never.
actually, I just go ahead, go ahead.
No, what would you say?
Go ahead, Don. Go ahead.
Okay, I would, like, but yeah, every time I hear it, it does not
No,
fail
no,
to
see,
make to
sorry, the
make you.
connection was
Yeah, your connection's going out.
I'm sorry, my connection is going. Yeah, it keeps going in it. Here, Don, keep talking. I'm just gonna go out for just a minute. I'll come right back in. Go ahead. Keep going.
Okay.
I'll be back in just
Okay.
like 10 seconds.
All right. So yeah, like I was. Oh, his connection on our side is fine. Oh, okay. Well, I don't know what Nick's what's going on with Nick's internet connection, but yeah, tonight is just not agreeing with him.
Okay, hopefully this time it worked.
Did you reset your Wi-Fi?
No, I didn't reset. I was gonna. I just decided to leave the studio and then come back. And if I'm still having problems, that's gonna be my next thing I'm gonna do. So
Okay.
yeah, I was having some technical difficulties, Billy. It's I'm not sure what it is. It's hey, Rochelle's
Oh,
on.
Rochelle.
Good to see you, Rochelle.
Nice to see you joining us. Yeah, thank you so much for joining.
So
Rochelle, we're talking
yeah,
about
it's I I've often yeah. Oh, hang on. I'm having the issues again. All right, I'm gonna restart my Wi-Fi. It's happening again on my side, so I'll be right back.
okay, I understand. So yeah, Rochelle, thank you so much for tuning in with us. Yeah, we were talking about my favorite found footage horror film, Wreck. It's made from Spain, and it's absolutely each time I watch it, it's just as terrifying as the first time I've seen it. You know, like it has a good steady build up and of all hell just breaking loose. You know, like especially when when the first people who are infected come back, all is just downhill from there. Yeah, this film never ceases to be terrifying. All right, hey Nick, welcome back.
Yes, I hope this time it works.
Yep. Oh, here, Sarah's saying holy water and electronics don't mix.
Yeah, you're damn right. Oh, check what Rochelle said. I just seen VHS in the second one a week ago. I've heard of Wreck.
Oh yes, yeah. VHS 2 I love as well more than the first one. The third VHS viral wasn't crazy about, but VHS 94 is my favorite out of all of them. They have it available on Shutter, and I think AMC Plus, but
Okay.
but I think they just released it on Blu-ray. So yeah, those are the three ways to see it. Like I personally have Shutter because I'm a huge fan of horror, so of course I would have that. But yeah, and then they released on the newest one last month, VHS 99, which isn't half bad.
Yeah, see, as we've talked about before, which I know we'll eventually talk about in a later show.
Yes.
I've only ever seen the first two VHS movies, which of course, thanks to you, you've shown them to me, and we gotta move forward with that because I am interested in seeing the other ones that are good.
Oh yes, yeah, you will love them. They have great stories. Yeah, I mean, I love how the unique approach it takes in combining found footage horror with anthology. I'm thinking, yeah, okay, this is a fairly good approach to the subgenres.
Oh my God,
Yep.
Sarah is so right on this. Oh, Angelo, good to see you.
Angelo, hey
Belated,
Angelo,
belated happy Halloween.
happy belated Halloween to you as well.
I just
So
want
what?
to go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, so what did I miss right now? Oh, Angelo, we were just discussing my all-time favorite found footage horror film, Wreck. It's a Spanish horror film that absolutely terrifying film. Like it's something you'd have to see. Like it's maybe actually be probably the scariest film that I own.
Yeah.
To be perfectly honest.
I just want to share this comment that Sarah just made. Just think she's absolutely right on this. Just think that the next generation isn't going to know what videotapes are anymore. I hate to say it, but she's right on that. Only us are going to remember. See, and I personally still own VHS tapes. Not horror related, but with some. And you see my collection, Don. Some of they're mostly documentaries, and a lot of them remain in the late '80s, '90s, and early 2000s, and they're kind of forgotten documentaries. So if you're lucky enough to get a copy of them, your only best bet is to get them on VHS.
Oh yeah, we converted to Blu-ray and like DVD, not Blu-ray, DVD, like right shortly after 2000 began. And I believe
Yep.
I believe the last VHS tape I ever owned as a kid was Pokemon the first movie. That was back in that was back in 1999.
I had that too. I
Yeah,
think
that was
we
way back.
all did. But you know, it's actually, I just got to pick this up. Did you know there actually was a movie? I can't remember what movie it was. It came out in 2010, and it was released on DVD and eventually Blu-ray, but they also in 2010 released it also on VHS. Of course, everybody wanted the DVDs, Blu-rays, and internet versions of that film. Nobody wanted the VHS tape.
Yeah, and people stopped getting DVDs too when Netflix started and all those other stream services.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
yeah,
HBO Max we have now.
Soon enough, these will be forgotten.
Yeah, they will be. They really will. Because when you think about it too, because Rec came out in 2007, yes, that was the year like when iPhones started coming out, but this was still at an era where it was pre-iPhone era. So everybody was still using video cameras at that time.
Yes, that's true. And it's just amazing how quickly the world changes each
I
decade.
know. Seen VHS 1, 2.
Oh,
Sarah,
yeah.
I remember days before the internet. So do I. I think you do too, Don.
That's before my time. I mean, I'm sure. I mean, internet was around when I was born, but it's not. Obviously, it's nothing like the internet today. But
No. Now, this is interesting what Angelo said. Here in the Philippines, one of the most iconic horror movies is called Shake, Rattle, and Roll. There have been about 15 movies, I believe. Wow, 15. The franchise started in the 1980s.
Shake, rattle, and roll, huh? Definitely gonna have to look into
Never
that.
heard of that before, but I wonder if that was like, because considering that it was made back in the 80s, I wonder if this was like, you can kind of say, I wonder if this was like the response to like a lot of the 80s franchise movies that came out during that period. If this was like kind of like the Philippines answer to making a franchise like that, if I'm correct.
Could be. Yeah, that could be. Yeah. Oh, wait, here. Are you just looking at the first movie or the rest of the? Oh wait, Still Saving the Land. Oh, I get it. When we start throwing out all the DVDs, yeah.
Sorry.
But are you looking at just the first movie or the rest of the trilogy? Well, mostly we're focusing on the first Wreck because I don't think Nick has seen the rest of the Wreck movies.
I've only seen the first one.
Yeah, they're hard to track down, the DVDs.
Yeah, they are.
I will say this, Nick. One DVD that I would love, or actually, no, scratch DVD, Blu-ray. One Blu-ray that I would love to get my hands on is Dead Alive. You know, the Peter Jackson film with the zombie.
Oh my god. Yeah. Oh, you know what? We got to do, you know we're going to have to do an episode on that cuz guess what? I don't know exactly when it came out, but this year would have been that movie's 30th anniversary.
It's 1992 or 1993.
It was early 1990. I think it was 1992 it came out.
1992, I think so, yeah. So it was before Peter Jackson adapted J.R.R. Tolkien novels. He directed arguably the goriest horror film of all time. Like, I'm just having a hard time picturing something like that being allowed in theaters.
And funniest too.
Yeah. Oh yeah. A lot of splat stick. Splatter mixed with slapstick.
I know. And this was pre Lord of the.
Yep, pre Lord of the Rings. Lord of the Rings movies weren't. They didn't. That franchise wasn't released until 2001. To death of Blockbuster. Yep, that's true. Oh, Nick. Oh no. Let's see. Hang on. me just call him up. Hello?
Yeah, Don, I'm coming right back on. I'm having.
Yeah. Here. Oh,
Okay.
here. I think I.
Whoa! Wait a minute. Why is there two of me? What's going on?
There's another one of you. There's another one of you.
Okay, I've seen that before, but yeah, there we go. There we go.
I was about to say, if there's a clone of you, is there one of me? Did he just come from a alternate universe?
But wait a second, he's still here.
Okay, here I'll just get rid of it.
It will disappear on its own. Yep, there. Okay. See, yeah, it goes away on its own.
Okay, so yeah. Now that's a Christmas gift idea. I think she's referring to the Blu-ray of Dead Alive. Yeah, I can't even, not even through Amazon can I or eBay can I find a copy of it. They're so rare now.
Wow. Did you already go with what Angela said here? Shake, Rattle, and Roll. They're Filipino horror movies. Every movie has 3 episodes. Oh, it's an anthology series.
Huh. Hey, Angela, I'm gonna have to look into that because I'm surprised I never heard of it.
Because I've never heard of it either.
Yeah, because I look at international films all the time, and I'm surprised I didn't come across this yet.
I wonder if it's again. I just thought of this, considering that he said it was made in the late '80s, in the '80s. I mean, there was a lot of horror anthology series that did come out in the '80s and '90s. So, again, maybe this was the Philippines' way of paying homage to it for the Philippines, obviously, like we do here in the United States. Like we do here in North America and Europe.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, here, Billy. Oh, wait. Here, Billy Mount says, Don, about Blu-rays and DVDs. Do you own any
connections? I don't know what's going on with my connection. I'm sorry.
I understand it. Don't worry about it. About the Blu-rays and DVDs. Do you own a 4K Ultra discs? I do not, Billy, but I actually do have digital copies that can be viewed in 4K quality. Like I have a 4K TV screen, so they look absolutely stunning. Like seriously, I could watch movies like that have like let's see, Avatar. I love watching Avatar on that. Like the color, the everything is just beautiful on there. And let's see what
really well
what
done.
else? Oh yes. And what's another great example? I love watching Alien on there. I did love what they did with this 4K quality on that. It's absolutely stunning. And the Lord of the Rings trilogy. Yeah. It's just it's amazing. Yes.
Since you brought up another movie, we're eventually also going to have to do an episode eventually on Alien, right? We have to do that one.
My favorite horror film. Yes, we are definitely doing it. But anyway, let's get back to Rec. So what I love about the characters and what I love about the characters is how diverse, like all the all the characters, the attendants, the like everybody that was trapped inside that apartment. There was an elderly couple, there was a Japanese family, one man I think was Filipino, I think he might have been. And the rest of them were Spanish because obviously the film takes place in Spain, so
he might have been.
Yeah. So yeah, like that. I just love that whole diversity of that. Like,
which does make sense, of course, obviously.
Oh yeah, like everybody comes from a different background. It was just great. What's wrong, Nick?
Don, I'll be right back again. I'm having to be right back.
Okay. Okay. Hope it gets fixed. So let's see. With 4K, you could see every. Oh, yeah. I mean, that's the thing, Sarah. With digital restoration, like it shows a whole lot more than what they had originally intended. Not just that, but also what, like for example, if they're keeping like a character hidden in the shadows to avoid, audiences seeing their face. Now that has happened. I've seen that being a problem with Sleepaway Camp. I've seen that being a problem with Leprechaun, all sorts of movies. So, Nick?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Oh, there's no escaping that apartment without being a monster. Yeah, Pretty much. Pretty much like it was like a pretty much of a hopeless kind of situation they were in with how the virus was just spreading out of control. And that's and I remember like at one point in the film when they had the medical inspector come in and examine the firemen and also the the police officer. Let's see. Oh no, yeah, it was I think it was like the lead police guy, the captain or something. He was the first to be infected, and also the fireman who was flung down all those stories and hitting the ground. It's amazing he didn't die from that. And yeah, like when they become infected,
It's impossible.
when they become infected, it's all downhill from there. And that jump scare that they have when one of the infected breaks that glass. Oh man. Yeah, that's one of the thing. That's one of the things I love about Wreck is that there are well timed like jump scares. Like the first one that seemingly came out
Yeah,
of nowhere.
right.
Yeah,
I
like
remember that scene.
yeah, the first one that came out of nowhere seemingly was when, like I said, the fireman Alex was like thrown from that infected old woman down all those flights of stairs, just hitting that. Yeah, I'm thinking there's no way someone going to survive that from a fall like that. That's
That
death.
was crazy.
Yeah, like
That's true death. That's your death sentence.
yes, because I read this somewhere that it would take like a fall about 20 feet to break a bone, and that flight of stairs was definitely taller than that.
Way taller than that.
Yes.
Oh, this is interesting. Oh, when it comes to horror, jump scares are a cheap shot. Yeah, they are on
Well,
various
they can be,
occasions.
but they can be efficient if timed properly, and I think this film had
Yeah.
done that pretty well. Let's
Now,
see. The fireman
the
fell off.
fireman
Yes.
fell off. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is a good comment that Sarah said. She's probably right on this. Virus horror will make a comeback after COVID. I would not be the
It
least
could.
bit surprised if they do. Even though there's been previous movies like that, with
Mhm.
such a pandemic like we've had with COVID, um, I would not be the least bit surprised if they're already making, new virus related horror movies, kind of based on that. Of course, obviously try not to offend anyone, but still make a good movie about it. So
Mhm.
I definitely believe we'll start seeing like virus related movies. Yeah, quarantine horror. That's actually a good term for it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Like I remember, yes, I was about to bring this up. Next, Contagion.
Oh,
Yeah, that's one of the
oh,
biggest. Yeah,
Contagion.
yeah. What another one is Outbreak, the one with the one with I think Dustin Hoffman and what was his name with Morgan Freeman and Donald Sutherland. Yeah, that was yeah, like that one
Oh,
I
that's
could
right.
consider to be high,
Yeah.
like had a lot of realism to it. Let's see. Oh yeah, 12 Monkeys. That's another one. Yeah, that's one.
12 Monkeys. Yeah. See, I'm just going to say this really quickly for Nick's comment because he mentioned
Hmm.
Contagion. I mean, it was good for a story, but I didn't really like that movie too much because there was a lot of things in that movie that honestly that main character could have avoided doing, but decided to do it anyway and kind of almost spread the infection. So Contagion, I wasn't too crazy about. I really wasn't, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Yeah, there are some characters in these movies that tend to not make the best decisions.
Yeah, well, to them they think it's the best decisions, but to us, it's never. Do you have any thoughts on the representation of the paranormal in the movie?
The paranormal. In Wreck, yes. There, yeah. So basically, when they go up to the attic floor, which was apparently abandoned, but when Angela and Pablo were the ones left, uh, where they go up to that attic that was supposedly locked away, they find that it was owned by an agent of the Vatican who had snuck in a seemingly possessed Portuguese girl who was carrying an enzyme, a mutated enzyme, which resulted in this viral outbreak, and which raises the question as to how the hell did he manage to get her there undetected?
That's the real, yeah, I wonder that too. But more importantly, I think in his view, he said in that case that it was actually demonic in nature. So again, it gives you that question almost about wanting to know are these people actually getting like infected by a virus, or is it some kind of demonic possession that they're actually going through, or is it some type of demonic virus? Like, because they said originally they tried performing an exorcism on this Portuguese girl to get rid of whatever was there, if I'm correct. But you don't really, when you see that part, it kind of almost really makes you wonder. You really don't know what it is exactly. Then, if this is like a typical biological virus or some type of ancient virus that's kind of demonic in nature.
Yep, that's true. Yeah, whatever it is, it's highly infectious and was able to completely infect an entire building in just a few hours. It was just.
See, Rochelle
And I
says,
look.
sounds like the movie Contracted very similar. It does. It does, but it's to a more weaker standing point.
Mm-hmm.
The virus came from a dead pig, and then the chef.
Oh, is he referring to like a swine flu?
I'm not sure. I mean, is he referring? Are you referring to a movie, or are you referring to like swine flu? I can't think of anything.
No.
Favorite Shake, Rattle, and Roll movies: Shake, Rattle, and Roll 4 in 1992. Each episode is titled Episode 1, The Teacher, Episode 2, The Neighbor, Episode 3, The Nun. All I can think of with The Nun is, all I can think about is that movie, that spin-off of The Nun.
Oh, yeah, the spin-off from the Conjuring franchise.
From the Conjuring franchise. Patient Zero, that's another movie that involves viruses.
Yes. And I looked at the name of that Portuguese girl at the end of Rec. Tristana Medeiros. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. And I think it was like terrifying how they gave that reveal of Tristina. Yeah, like as a tall, emaciated being. And you know who played her, Nick? This is an actor.
Yeah. I know who it is. I keep forgetting his name.
Javier Botet.
Yep, that's him.
Yep. And we talked about him.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, we've talked about him before on the podcast to the audience. So guys, we talked about Javier before. He has done all kinds of monsters in movies. He has played Mama in Mama. He was also the Crooked Man in The Conjuring 2. Let's see, the leper guy in Stephen King's It. Yeah. So he's got quite a resume.
I mean, this has to be probably one of his earliest movies horror films he did, since this was 2007. Because he really rose to prominence in the horror genre by the 2010s. We didn't really see too much of it, so it was quite interesting to see him in such an early role, when you can kind of say he was still kind of an unknown actor from that era.
Oh,
and the way how he portrays that lady, I mean, that lady's like 7 feet tall. She is so tall, like it's horrifying.
Hey, it's like, how did a small Portuguese girl turn into that? Man,
it's just not possible. And you know what? I'm actually going to show. I decided to help you out with this, Don. I actually got a picture of her right here. I'm going to share the screen so you guys. Sorry if you guys haven't seen this movie, but you know how it is sometimes with our shows. We should always say spoiler alert. Hang on one second. Damn it, where is? Sorry, I'm gonna say. Damn it, I always have problems when it comes to sharing.
Yeah, I think I can pull it up right here.
Oh, you got it?
Let's see. Rack.
Okay, since you're looking that up, I'm going to answer this question that Sarah asked. Where can you find older podcast broadcasts? Sarah, we are on Facebook. We're also as you can see, we are on Things Network. We're also on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, LinkedIn, and we're going to soon be eventually on TikTok and Rumble. So if you want to watch our previous shows, you can check us out there. Or if since you're on Facebook, you could just check out the Things Network page and go back to the older broadcasts.
That's right. And you can also find them on my YouTube channel too.
And yep, it's on. Yeah, it's on Don's YouTube channel. It's on my profile, personal profile. So we're kind of all over the place.
Yep. So, I found that picture. So,
I was going to share that. I was going to share the screen so it could be a much larger image. So, I mean, I'm actually just about to. Yeah, I'm just about to get it up.
Okay, cool.
Okay, I'm just trying to. Okay, you know what? I'm just going to do this. This will just make it easier because I'm having issues. I'm trying to get just the picture, and okay, this is good enough. Okay, here we go. Okay, share screen, please. Thank you. Just let me know if you can see it.
Okay, let's see. I think you froze up again.
Yeah, could you see it? I'm having connection issues again. I can't tell if you can see it or not.
I can't. It's not loading. Oh, here.
It's not? Oh,
Yeah,
okay. Okay, good. Yep, there we go.
Yeah, so that is Tristina, the source of the infection in Wreck. Completely emaciated, pale figure who just roams around the upper floor of that apartment complex. And oh my God, that would just creeps me out every time I see that picture.
This is a still shot from the movie itself. So I just thought I kind of thought I'd show both the oops. Wait, what did he say? Hang on. This I know you're laughing. I can't see when I'm sharing. Hang on.
Okay,
looks like Gollum's girl.
Oh.
That's funny. But yeah, that's the source of the infection. Wait, could you do that again? Because I was laughing.
Mild process. Oh man.
That is awesome. I don't think Gollum and she would not get along very well. He'd be running like hell.
No, yeah, even that's enough to terrify me. Forget Sauron. Like that thing will make Gollum run for his life.
Yeah. Sorry. The actor who played the Bond villain in Skyfall wasn't Wreck?
I don't think so. Javier Bardem? No. That's Javier Bardem. I'm talking about a different Javier Botet. No. So
yeah.
No, that's someone else entirely.
Wrong Javier.
Yes. And so, yeah, like I just love like Nick, I was just saying earlier, like I just love the steady build up that the film has. Like it starts off, slow, like everything's fine, but then right when everybody confronts that old woman who is like screaming and going insane. What was her name? Conchita? Yeah, right when they encounter her. And she just rips the cop's neck out and throws the fireman
like zombie
style. Yeah, and then it turned. Then just when you think like they have the situation under control, it gets out of hand. Like starting with when right after they come back and start infecting other people, then it turns out that little girl's infected too because her dog got infected.
Yeah, so that also shows too that the virus is not restricted to just humans. It's also it can also infect animals as well. So it's not restricted. It's a virus that knows no sort of boundaries. So if it can infect humans, it can also infect animals like dogs as well.
Oh yeah, and here, hang on 1 second. So yeah, that's the reason why they quarantined the building because they had reports from a veterinary clinic who was treating that dog, and the dog had infected the other animals, and they had to euthanize it. And the dog's implant, they having like some dogs and cats that they put like a GPS implant so microchip.
Originally actually one of my cats, Kitty was originally supposed to get one of those, but we changed our mind at the last minute.
Oh, I see. But yeah, the microchip is what led them to that building and led them to quarantine that building off. So when the dog, they said, "Asked was the dog called Max?" They said, "Yeah," and the dog Max belonged to that mother and daughter. And turns out that daughter was infected and just like spewed blood on the mother's face and just ran off. And I got to show a picture of that girl. Hang on. Yeah, the girl's name was Jennifer, and right when she became infected, oh Jesus, that's another image in my image that never ceases to terrify me.
Yeah. Yep, I remember that. That's
Yeah.
crazy. It's a kid too.
Oh yeah, and that jump scare that they had with her was terrifying as well. Oh man, right when the cop is like when they're trying to give her like an injection, I think like sedating her, but
Yeah,
I'm yeah, I'm not sure if that sedating her would do much good anyway.
I know. It's just like you just can't really describe, just the way how inhuman she looks in such a role like that. You never seen anything like that, especially involving a child actress.
Oh yeah, that child actress, she did an amazing job with that role, like
She
for real.
did.
She, oh yeah. So, right, and oh, like another terrifying moment was like when the infected started to break out from that work area. Or what was it called? It was like a fabric, a workshop that they had there, like that some of the people in the building worked at, because that's where they kept like those infected. They were just breaking out, and they had handcuffed that Jennifer's mother like on the stairway because they thought she was infected, and they couldn't get her out of those cuffs, so they had to leave her behind, and the infected attacked her. Yeah, so
And
that was
no,
that was a
uh,
chilling moment as well.
it's just a complete. It's just a complete feeling of helplessness.
Yeah, and right when that happens, the whole situation just goes out of control. Yeah, because the infected run loose in the apartment, infecting all the other residents, and including the fireman Manu.
Yeah,
Yeah, leaving. Yeah, which had left Angela and Pablo the only two left. So then they have to hold up inside of that attic room where they find all this evidence about Tristina, about her possession, and also that audio player which described the agent from the Vatican agent who was treating her, how the virus is completely mutating at a quicker rate that they can cure it.
yeah, or even if you want to put it, or even exercise, because again, there was even an attempted exorcism that was trying to be used on this girl. Sarah's like, reminds me of Linda Blair on The Exorcist. Yeah,
Yeah, that's familiar. Oh man, but yeah, right when it's like, and just when you think, oh, like the infected are out there, they're safe in that dark room. Yeah, it turns out that Tristina is running loose there, and has like something in her hand, like some kind of like a, I think it was like a cup or something she was just banging around with. Which,
yeah, it was like I can't remember that entirely, but I do remember something involving some object that she was holding.
yep, and which man, makes me wonder. One another thing about her, when Angela and Pablo like first enter there, they're talking, they're making noises. So why didn't she just attack them when they first enter the room? That's what I'd like to know.
I wish I knew, to be honest.
It's like she can clearly hear them. I mean, but
Yeah, exactly.
but it was
I
what
don't understand that.
yeah. But I just like when another jump scare, one of the best of the entire film, is when they go up and try to, when they hear noises coming from above the attic, they try to like peek inside with the camera because the camera had their only light source. Peek around, then I don't know where an affected kid breaks the light.
I know.
Yep. So
You
they had to
know,
resort. So
I
they
was
had to
going to
resort.
say, go on.
Yeah. Yeah. So they had to resort to night vision, and it's through this night vision when they start seeing Tristiana.
So here's the one question I actually have to ask about this, because I'm always wondering, because like when you asked about like how on earth was she not only snuck up to that attic years prior, but more importantly, how she would have been making a lot of noise like footsteps. She was making a lot of banging noises, like banging on in the attic. So how has nobody ever, you know, heard all those noises from above? If you heard those kind of noises and you find out no one's been up in that attic for years, yeah, you call the police immediately.
Yeah.
How on earth did nobody ever notice hearing that? Because it's an attic, and usually most attics have weak floors. So they're not really soundproof. So how has nobody, especially living on the top floor, could hear what's going on above them? That's what I'd like to know.
Yeah. And how did Tristiana manage to infect the dog Max? Like
Yeah,
if she was sealed off in that room. That's what I'd like to know. But regardless of that,
I don't know. It just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, when you look for like deep into it, yeah, like there's that kind of plot hole to it. But regardless, this film like is like one of the most horrific I've ever seen.
Yeah,
but yeah, Wreck is just wow. Like from beginning from its wait,
the bang is coming in threes. He's referring to like demonic related responses. It's supposed to be the mocking of the Trinity, Father, Son, Holy Spirit, and it stops at dawn. Well, next I just got to say is that's not the case for Rack. I mean, it may be a demonic virus, but it doesn't really follow the rules like you'd see in other horror films, especially The Conjuring, how they use that type of behavior, knocking in threes. With Tristina in Wreck, it's like she's just banging whatever she finds in the dark. If something gets in her way, she's gonna hit it, and you see it hit because you don't really. I mean, it's hard to tell if she's actually, if I'm correct on, it's kind of hard to say if she's actually blind now because of all these years being spent in the darkness, or it's just pitch black and she can't see a thing.
Could be. I'm thinking maybe she is blind.
If you're kept in the dark, if you're kept in the dark for so long, you eventually lose your sense of seeing because your eyes become so accustomed to the dark that your eyes are no longer useful. So it makes me wonder if she's blind or not.
Could be. Your guess is as good as mine. Yeah, and let's see what else was I gonna say. It's like right when they come up with a plan to try to escape through like the sewer line, a door that leads to like a storm line or something or other. Like just that last symbol of hope like vanishes quickly as more become infected. Like I feel like where they try to get the keys from the head of the resident association, and when they manage to find it, they can't get away back downstairs because all the infected are down there, including the now at that point infected Manu, who was infected off screen, the fireman.
Right.
So they were forced to go up into that attic, and I think it's implied that Tristiana like somehow was able to control these other people who were infected, so they lured him to her.
Kind of like a mind control almost. Like this was
a hive mind.
It's like, yeah, she's basically, I mean, obviously she's the originator of this virus, if you will. So she's kind of the leader, and all these others who are infected are basically like her proxies, if you will. So they basically will do her bidding, in other words.
Hive-minded.
Hive-minded, yes. Knocking things out of the way could be a symbolic power, Sarah says. It's the darkness. When it comes to okay, yeah, that's true. Sarah does make a good point. When it comes to losing a sense, the other senses become stronger. That's absolutely right, including not necessarily that probably may partially explain her extreme height, but also more importantly, her intense strength that she's got.
Oh yes, they did kind of like even Marvel like played around with that idea when they made Daredevil.
Yeah.
Gotta get past that. Oh yeah, to escape from that place. Yeah, like you can't go back
past
downstairs.
the demonic zombies.
Like the Borg Queen? Hmm. Oh,
What
man,
the
but
hell is that?
let me look this up.
See, I'm just, I noticed something, by the way, while you're looking that up. I noticed another thing about that movie.
Mm-hmm.
You notice that other than the start of like when we first see the first infected person like biting someone's neck, other than that scene, you never really saw, for the most part, like typical zombies. You never actually really saw them eating people, eating their flesh or disemboweling and eating their organs. So you can kind of say once again, we could kind of rule out the fact that these aren't zombies, because with zombies you can't talk to them, you can't reason with them. All they want is your flesh. In Wreck, it's like all they just want to do is either kill you or infect you, and that's very much it. So probably that biting the neck sequence, I don't think was meant to be like a zombie like, even though it looked zombie like. I don't think she was really trying to like eat him. I think she was trying to infect him. So that's one thing that stands out, is even though they look like and partially act a little bit like zombies, like the fast running ones, they don't really ever eat people.
Yeah, that's true. Like I think these things were more focused on spreading their infection and increasing their numbers than anything else.
Yeah. Oh, like the Borg Queen from Star Trek?
Oh, okay.
That's what it was. Okay.
Okay, because yeah, that's the reason why I don't know about that, because I do not watch Star Trek at all. Like I don't
I've
know, I just couldn't get into it. Just can't do
I've
it.
watched I watch it only if my dad's watching. We're talking about the original series from
Uh,
the 60s. So I only watch when my dad's watching. It's an interesting, okay show. Just as I would put it, it's kind of one of those shows that you should. It's one of those shows that you would watch if there's just nothing else on late at night to watch. That's the way how I see it. Yes, Nick. Unfortunately, yes, I am having technical difficulties again.
yep. Patrick Stewart. Yeah, I
Patrick
know he was in
Stewart.
Star Trek. I know he was in like the new Star Trek shows. Like I think Next Generation, but I never watched that show. I'm more familiar with Patrick Stewart as uh, Xavier from X-Men.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why do they always want to go for the neck? I think that's because that's where a lot of the you can kind of say it's like one of the weaker spots. It's where what is
The
that?
jugular.
The jugular vein. That's what it was. That's where the jugular is. So I think that's kind of a trademark, whether it's a zombie movie or not, because that's like once you're bitten on the neck, right at the jugular, that's when you're done at that point, especially when it's ripped out.
Oh yeah, there's like in the neck has like all these arteries. Like sever an artery, that's like death. Like
Yeah,
almost
exactly. Yeah,
instant.
what Sarah just said. The neck is the vulnerable spot with veins and arteries. That's probably where we have the most, more than anywhere else on parts of our bodies. So that's why we always see that, not only just in Wreck, but other horror movies as well, especially the zombie films.
Oh yeah, zombie films. There's all kinds of yeah. Which another example, another international horror flick
Yeah, yeah,
where
it's
this
all the way
guy,
from Italy.
yeah, where this guy tears the neck out of a woman and she's like dead like that.
Yeah, right at the front though, like
Yeah.
dead set in the center. Most
Oh yeah.
protected. Most are protected. That's why. Yeah, that's why all these movies aim for the neck, because even though we do have some bone break, like a neck bone, most of our neck is vulnerable. So that's why it inspires such horror films to use that as like a trademark, because that's one of the weakest areas of our bodies.
Oh yeah. That's true. Yeah. Weakest and yeah, like because yeah, like the skull, like one of the strongest bones. It has to be the skull. Protect obviously to protect the brain and such. Yeah.
Right, right.
Let's see.
Sorry. Get my
Okay,
power
I get
from the
my power
sun.
from the sun. Okay, so apparently he's Superman.
Yeah. Oh, Sarah here says there are certain parasites that can turn animals into zombies.
I have heard
Um,
about that.
I've heard about that too. I mean, it's never. I've never heard, for example, if it's ever been tested on a human or if it has been tested on a human, it doesn't really have much of an effect. But yes, I have heard of parasites that can turn certain animals into kind of zombie-like in a way.
Yeah, I believe I did see a documentary about that a few years back.
Yeah, I saw something like that too. I can't remember where it was from, but I know I've seen something like that in the past.
Oh, yeah. And let's see what like that movie I just showed, Zombie. We're definitely gonna have to do a podcast episode on that as well.
We got absolutely. That's one of my favorite all-time zombie movies. When the zombies can't. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, like that's one of my favorite zombie movies too. But it's not in my top 5, but it's somewhere in the top 10.
When the zombies can't stand up, they'll go for the ankle portion.
Oh yeah, they just go for the legs because that's all they could reach.
Hey, you know what, Don? It's just like I said the other night. Sooner or later, we're going to have to deal with that very soon. The future when the zombie apocalypse eventually starts. Which I'm going to say, like I said before, when it does occur, I predict it's going to be in 2046 on March 21st at 2:03 p.m.
Yep. Then soon enough, we're gonna find ourselves in that game, Left 4 Dead, come to life.
Hey, that's gonna be fun then, because we love playing Left 4 Dead. Should be fun shooting the zombies.
Reloading.
Yeah, reloading. Oh, Sarah. So, what time do we start? Sarah. If I may ask, are you Central Standard Time, Eastern, Mountain, or I'm missing one other time zone, but which time zone are you located in?
Eastern time zone.
Eastern. Okay, so for you, it was we're Central Standard Time. We're here we live in Chicago, Illinois, so we're Central Standard Time, which is at 8:30 p.m. So for you, it will start at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Yep.
Yeah, so catch us at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Send us a request.
What request?
Let's see. No, I didn't get any friend requests from her, but
have your bear traps ready, guys, and fire.
You know what? I'm surprised Left 4 Dead 2 never came up with the idea of bear traps. Wait. Deep dish is not pizza. I'm sorry, Sarah, but as Chicago natives, yes, it is. It is definitely deep dish is definitely pizza.
It is the one true pizza. Oh man.
Yeah, well done. You never know. She might be from New York, and you know how there's a bitter rivalry between Chicago and New York deep dish pizza. No, no, it is not casseroles. No, it's not a casserole. It's pizza.
Yep. Deep dish is pizza. It still counts. I just had deep dish pizza over my nephew's birthday party. Yeah, we had Lou Malnati's, the best.
Yes, that stuff is awesome. You cannot pick it up, and yes, you can. You can eat it. You can't pick it up. You know what?
Yeah, you can.
You know what we're gonna have to do, Don? Here's what we're gonna have to do to try to prove Sarah wrong. We're gonna have to do like a segment of the show eating deep dish pizza to show that it is true.
How would we fit that into it?
We could probably put it for the last 5 minutes.
Yes, it is. True pizza.
Yeah, Nix, you know, you're on our side. Yay! Zay, we're not alone. Good to have you on our side for that.
All right. Hey, just want to let you know, Black Panther Wakanda Forever now showing here in the Philippines. Today's the first day in the Philippine cinemas. Oh, that's awesome. So you get to see it before us. We have to wait until Friday.
Huh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So, yeah, I can't wait to see that. But, oh, man, just seeing it, though, just really makes me miss Chadwick Boseman.
I just saw a commercial for that new upcoming Black Panther movie, actually, just not long before I came on here. So it's been talked about on television quite much. There is probably a pizza horror movie. I will ask Zach.
Let me guess. Let me guess. It has Pizza the Hut from Spaceballs.
You got to wait a minute. Oh, it's Nick. I didn't know you were from
Nice.
Chicago.
Nice.
Awesome. Good to have another Chicago native watching. That's awesome. You go to Chicago for Owlsby. Okay, yes. Yeah, we got that too.
Yeah.
Watch it this Saturday. I'm working right now. Okay.
Oh, okay. Cool. All right.
Nick's the killer pizza.
Has it ever been done a killer pizza horror film? I mean, the only kind of food related horror film I've heard of is Attack of the Killer Tomatoes.
That I was going to say the same thing. I mean, not really pizza related, but it does deal with an important ingredient to pizza.
Yeah. Or The Stuff. I mean, that kind of technically they did market it as a food in the film.
I never saw that movie, but I did. I've heard of it though. The Stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. Right after a random idiot just happens on by the stuff coming out from the ground and is like, oh, some random foamy stubs, some new substance has just risen up from the earth. I'm just gonna dip my finger and put it in my mouth.
Like, what the hell? You don't know what. You have no idea where that's been.
It's like
Soylent Green would be considered a horror movie. Have you ever heard of that before? Or?
I have. Yeah. It
I don't think
stars
I have.
Charlton Heston, I believe, is in it. Yeah, I need to see it for myself, but it has a big twist to it. I've got to see it. I think I saw it listed on a stream service somewhere. I'll have to look into it.
Ooh, nice. Check this out. The Philippines love pineapple on pizza. I didn't even know that. Because I always think of, not only just here in Chicago, but like country like Italy, which is certainly known for their pizza. I didn't know that pizza was big in the Philippines.
Pizza should be big everywhere. Yeah. But Nick, let's dive right back into this. So yeah.
I know we've been going off topic.
Yes. So yeah, Wreck was like I said, it was released in 2007, like in Spain, but became like a nationwide, like shortly after that, after it became a commercial and critical success. So
yeah,
I'm glad it found its way here to America, so that I can get a chance to experience it, so that we can all get a chance to experience it.
Though, of course, obviously, I didn't see it until several years later after originally came out, because it's nice that they were able to eventually release it. But of course, at that time, even if I did know about it and wanted to see it, we didn't have a lot of the streaming websites or even movie websites that were available at that time to really watch. I mean, there were a few of them, but the problem is a lot of them you had to pay for, which of course we also later found out some of them were actually illegal uploads. But still, you got to watch them either way.
Yeah, I tend to stay away from illegal uploads, because video piracy, that's serious crime here in America. So yeah. Like people were like suggesting that I watch Spider-Man No Way Home when it first came out last year, like through a pirated site. I'm just like, nope, I'm gonna go see it in theaters because if I'm going to see this movie, I prefer doing this in a manner that will not run the risk of having black helicopters and vans showing up in my condo.
See, I don't know. I don't know what to say about that.
Yeah. Yeah. So like Nick, at some point we're gonna have to watch Wreck 2, because I consider it like, sure, it's not as good as the first, but it is a worthy sequel. I will say that, because it continues right after the events from the first film, where Pablo was beaten to death by Tristina, like with the hammer, and Angela gets dragged off, and right when that happens, a SWAT team moves in, just is allowed to enter that quarantined area to figure out the virus and the vaccine and whatnot. And they're all armed with pistols and machine guns. And you think that would make a difference, but no. Yeah. So guns don't really make much of a difference.
Oh, I'd like to see old horror movies like Hitchcock and Vincent Price movies. If you should know, Sarah, he's got the whole Alfred Hitchcock collection.
Yes. We're actually gonna go do an episode on this podcast of a Hitchcock film real soon because it's Thanksgiving. I definitely want to go into The Birds.
Yeah, that's what Sarah was just saying. Next month you can get into holiday horror. Yes, we already yeah, I mean obviously yes, the Birds is not really a Thanksgiving related movie, but it's really the closest that we can get to because there are actually a few Thanksgiving related horror movies. The problem is though is that they are all super terrible. And see, honestly, I was expecting Rochelle to still be on. I was kind of expecting her to say Thanksgiving, of course. But
Oh,
yeah, I know, right? See, that's among one of those movies. So one of those terrible movies. So The Birds is the closest, but after Thanksgiving's over, yeah, we're going to be looking into a few of the holiday Christmas horror movies. So
yes.
we definitely have a few planned coming up in the next couple of weeks, Sarah.
Oh, yes. There's plenty of
Can't
holiday
wait,
horror
can
films
wait.
out there.
Good, Nick. You
Yeah.
can wait for Thanksgiving. That's awesome.
Yeah, there's plenty of good holiday horror films out there. So we're definitely gonna dive into a few in December.
Terrible is a different type of horror in that you have eaten up time. Not sure what she means by that.
I guess she means like terrible horror films that like as far as
Oh,
holiday films. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. There are a few good Christmas horror films that we can go into. You know, like
Yeah.
Gremlins is definitely one I want to do. Let's see.
Black
What else?
Christmas.
Black Christmas. Yeah, the
The
original, not those
original, the
terrible.
original one, not those, yeah, not those shitty remakes. And yes,
Yeah.
Nick's brought up another going, Krampus.
Yep. Krampus, directed by Michael Dougherty, who directed Trick or Treat. Yeah, so yeah, we definitely have to go look into Krampus at one point.
See, I would
what
say
else?
one other movie that we would, I know it seems very far away for me to bring up. One other movie I thought would be awesome to talk about during the upcoming holiday Christmas season.
Yeah.
Ironically enough, I would have said Nightmare Before Christmas, but I was going to say maybe we should hold that for next year because next year will be the 30th anniversary of that movie.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, Night Before Christmas. That one never gets old. I don't care Disney or not. It's still great. Oh, yep,
And,
Die Hard.
It is a Christmas movie. Die Hard is a Christmas movie.
That is my Christmas movie. Die Hard.
Krampus is the evil clone of Santa.
A demonic version of Santa. Yes,
Demonic
pretty
version, yeah.
Yep.
I've always
It's
looked at Krampus actually. Oh, sorry, go ahead, Don. Go on.
It's like Santa gives you Santa gives you gifts. Krampus takes your life.
Yeah. See, I've always seen, I'm just going to say this quickly. You know, Nick's brought up Krampus.
What?
I've always thought, because all this talk about like, you know, Nightmare Before Christmas and now Tim Burton, I've always looked at Krampus as kind of like the R-rated version of what Nightmare Before Christmas would have been. Because it does deal with evil toy. It doesn't just deal with Krampus. It deals with evil toys and somebody terrorizing families and neighborhoods during the night before Christmas. So it's almost like an R-rated version of NBC.
Yeah. Right.
Violent Night is the new Santa Die Hard thing coming out. What is this Sarah's talking about?
This is new movie. This is new movie Violent Night, where David Harbour from Stranger Things, he plays Santa, who is fighting off a bunch of robbers to protect a family. You know, and so it's got some Die Hard vibes to it. And
Never heard of it.
Yeah, I did a reaction video to the trailer.
Megan is the new Chucky type movie. What?
Yeah, you ever heard of Megan?
No, I haven't. See, I need to catch. I've been meaning to catch up.
Yeah, Blumhouse's new upcoming film. Yeah, Megan. I've done a reaction video to that trailer as well.
Okay.
Yeah, but yeah, as far as rec goes, like the more I look at that film,
sorry, I just wanted to show Angela's comments. I'm just trying to keep up with everything.
I say.
A high school student who has a huge crush on her professor, but what she doesn't know, her professor is like Mr. Hyde.
Oh.
Okay. I'm gonna have to see what this. I'm gonna have to see what this shake, rattle, and roll thing is, because like you said, there's like 15 movies. It's like an anthology series. Again, if you think about it, since they made it in the 80s and it got into the 90s, again, it's almost like a lot of the other anthology shows that were made from that era. You know, you had the X-Files, you had Tales from the Crypt. Of course, obviously, we talked about this the other night, Don. Of course, the classic and probably the most terrifying Nickelodeon show, Are You Afraid of the Dark? So I wonder if, we're going to have, another thing, we got to talk about that show at some point, too.
Are You Afraid of the Dark? Yeah, that show was my childhood. I don't care what all the parents say. That show's great.
No, it's terrifying. But yeah, I mean, the shake, rattle, and roll thing. I wonder if it has anything to do with like paying homage to like a lot of, because the anthology series were quite popular from that era.
Yeah,
you can't catch me on the gingerbread man.
Oh,
sounds like.
I think he's referring to Ginger Dead. I think he's referring to that Gary Busey film, Ginger Dead Man. I guess I'm not sure if that counts as a holiday film, but
I don't know either. Sarah's like, sounds like a Lifetime movie. A Lifetime movie, my God. Yeah, Sarah's saying the same thing. Maybe it's like an anthology, like Tales from the Crypt, shake, rattle, and roll. Oh, we got another fan here, Don. Okay, she may not believe in the pizza theory, but at least she loves that show, Are You Afraid of the Dark? That's awesome.
Oh yeah, that's awesome. That's great. That's great. Yes, and
love's so weird, but it's not horror.
Well, I think it kind of is horror. So weird.
I've never seen it. I've heard of it, but I've never seen it.
You haven't seen So Weird? Like, oh, you didn't watch much Disney. That's right.
Yeah, I'm not much of a Disney fan. Yes, AHS.
Yes, that's
we like AHS too. I haven't seen last season I came up with was I think it was season 6. It was involving the election.
Yes, the Donald Trump election.
Yeah, it was. I only ever saw. See, it's not that I lost interest, but I only saw like the first 2 episodes. But before that, I watched almost every. It was Cult. That's what it was. Yep. No, not Cult. Yep. Oh, it was. Yeah, it was. It was. Yeah.
I appreciate how. Yep, I appreciate how American Horror Story dedicated that season to me, Donald J. Trump.
Yeah, it was just I only saw the first 2 episodes of that season because it's not that I lost interest. It's just that I had so much time going on in my schedule. Yes, it's the midterm election. That's right. Roanoke was terrible.
Yep. Midterm election. I'll be back in 2024 with a vengeance.
Roanoke was okay. I wasn't too crazy about that either. It was nothing really original. There was just nothing really original about that season. The professor is like Dr. Jekyll, and he drinks a potion he made in his chemistry lab. He turns into a monster and kills. That sounds very much like the Filipino version of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde.
Sure does. Yeah. So
okay. Anyway, sorry, I just want to catch up with everybody's comments. I didn't want to be left behind.
Yeah, I got you, man. So, Wreck. I mean, I don't only consider this to be the best found footage movie. I consider this to be one of the best horror films of all time. Seriously, like in my book, it's definitely in the top 20. Yeah, definitely. So, oh yeah. And like I said, the third film, Nick, I don't know if you know this or not, but the third film took place. It looked like is where it started to drift away from the whole found footage style and focused on a wedding.
Really?
A viral outbreak at a wedding. So
interesting. That seems kind of. I mean that's kind of some thinking there. I don't know where they. I don't even really know what to say about that. I feel like they've already done that before in other previous movies.
Yeah, I mean, a viral outbreak at a huge gathering event kind of makes me think of Cabin Fever 2.
That's what I was thinking. And that was like 2 years after that Wreck came out, wasn't it 2009? That the second Cabin Fever movie came out. I thought it was
around that. Yes.
Yeah.
Hey, say what you want about Cabin Fever 2. I still consider that better than Cabin Fever Patient Zero. Not even Sean Astin's performance could save that one.
One last season changed my view on Mamie Eisenhower forever. I don't know what to say about that. Okay. It's their own. It's in my top 15. You talking about Wreck? Yeah, I
he's
figured
probably
it
right.
would. Sorry, I was getting to that last one. If something gets messed up at the wedding, it'll be the worst thing happen in life.
Oh yeah,
He's got a point there.
every wedding is sacred and should be carried out according to plan.
Yeah. Hang on a second. I'm just checking. Oh, and Sarah, did you get the I just got Sarah's friend request. Did you get hers too done?
I don't think so.
Okay, well, she added me. So oh wow, check it out. She's already friends with some of our she's friends with Victoria Monday, Mike Rickseger, Carl L. Johnson. Oh, she's even friends with Tom.
Oh,
How about that?
nice.
Interesting. All right. I just accepted your friend request, Sarah.
Yeah. And so, yeah, like when you watch Quarantine for first, the before Wreck, like you want to compare both of those films, you could notice like a whole bunch of similarities as far as how like the story plays out, but they do introduce a few new characters as well as and like introduce like a different way these infected people are depicted. Like I said, they have bloodshot eyes. They're foaming at the mouth. Like they have like the saliva dripping down. Like, ugh. Like you ever
Very
like you haven't
rough.
seen. Yeah, you haven't seen Quarantine yet, have you?
No, I haven't. I heard they have like a very rapid almost appearance.
Yeah, it's like it like moves towards the whole rabies aspect. It really tries to become like this highly evolved mutated form of rabies. That's what at least that's what they were going for in Quarantine.
Okay. Yeah,
But,
it's
yeah, yeah,
like a more
yeah.
common way.
Yeah, here let me just try. Let me look up her name. Hang on one second.
Oh, Nick said he's seen Quarantine.
Yeah. Oh, here, Jennifer Carpenter. That's her name. She's in Quarantine.
Yes.
She was also played Dexter's sister in that Dexter series.
And also before that too, she was also in another big horror movie. She played in the main character in The Exorcism of Emily Rose.
Oh yeah. Oh, I forgot to mention. In Quarantine, they have let's see, Joey King, who was in The Conjuring, who was in Slender Man. She was in all kinds of movies. She played the little girl in Quarantine.
My God, I can't
Yeah.
even imagine how young she must have been that way, because I remember seeing her in Conjuring, Slender Man, which she was in her teens when she did Conjuring, and then she was like in her early 20s when she did Slender Man. So I can already imagine what she must have been a little girl back then when she did Quarantine.
She
So
was.
hey, honestly, when it comes to certain actresses like her, and the fact that she's appeared in numerous horror movies,
Mhm.
even if Quarantine is not the best movie for her to like appear in, she could be that very likely candidate that if she continues on with her career like that, as long as she continues appearing in horror movies, and now that she's in her, I would probably say mid-20s at least, she could
She
eventually
is.
become the next Scream Queen. She could
She
eventually
could.
become the next Scream Queen in the future. Yeah, because unlike and even more amazingly, most Scream Queens usually start off when they're already adults. If
Oh yeah.
if she becomes a Scream Queen herself, she'll be the first ever to have done it from kind of at a young age to now. So I don't know if she's starring any new upcoming horror movies, but I definitely see a lot of potential for her though. Definitely.
Oh yeah, totally. Let's see who else was in Quarantine. I'm trying to think. That's the thing. Like when they have like found footage horror films, it's like you try to make it seem like realistic as possible, like something that would happen like in the real world. Like that's what they're trying to aim for, like try to immerse you into that. But it's hard to take seriously when you put too many familiar faces in the film.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, because
Excuse
I
me.
remember the actress Marianne Hinkle who played Judith in the sitcom Two and a Half Men. So yeah, she played the mom in this film,
I never
Brianna's
watched
mom.
that show, but I can already see how that would look.
Yeah, it's pretty funny if you just like watch if you really like Charlie Sheen's humor in that. I mean, when I look
I
at that
just never
seriously.
found it funny.
Yeah, I mean seriously, Nick, when you look at Two and a Half Men and you look at Charlie Sheen in real life, I don't really see that much of a difference. He's
I,
pretty much
I,
playing. He's pretty much playing himself.
I just never really liked the show. It was just not. Although I will say this though, in a more gory sense. Every time I think of that title, I always think of that Family Guy skit where they had that clip of 2.5 Men. It's like two guys and one guy who's like he lost his bottom half. Kill me.
Yeah.
That's classic
Oh,
Family Guy right there.
Yeah.
Uh,
Oh, and I will say
see
this
here.
in
Let's
quarantine,
see.
and I will say this though, in quarantine they actually do introduce something new. They actually have like infected dogs inside the building.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they do. So there's like one of the one just one of the changes that they had, so
Well, I mean, they had an infected dog in Wreck, but you never really saw that dog. Yes, it was the first to be infected after, the first real victim to be infected, but it was you never saw it. So I can kind of see how they were trying to do that with quarantine.
oh yeah. Yeah, like quarantine was the same, yet it was slightly different. So but,
Yeah. You're always going to have differences compared to like the original version.
Mm-hmm.
Like 2.5 Men. Yeah, I just could never get into it. I just didn't think it was that funny. Okay, so it looks like Angela's telling each episode of the show. Episode 2, the neighbor is about a kid who noticed there's someone living inside the top of a tree in the neighborhood and suspects it's a monster who caused children to just disappear.
Okay, now definitely have to look into it, Angelo.
I've heard of a story like that. Actually, it was from the YouTube channel Creepypasta Jr. He did a story like that. The difference was it wasn't a tree that was being used. It was some kind of abandoned farm, and it dealt with this like some kid always had heard. It was like a kid who disappeared, so another kid decided to check it out, and they saw that he sees this. Can you hear me, Don?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Don?
Yes. Yes.
Don, you there?
Yes, I am.
Okay, yeah, I lost connection there briefly for a second. So,
okay.
Yeah, there's a story very much like that, and it deals with this kid who goes to this barn where someone else had disappeared. He deals with this monster, but he's able to escape though. So it's a creepy story.
Oh yeah, totally.
You believe John Cyr is bald now? Is that true?
John Cryer.
John Cryer, excuse me.
Yes. Yeah. Then. Yeah, that was Charlie Sheen's brother on that show. Yeah, Alan. So.
Wow.
Yeah, John Cryer. I've seen him in a recent show, and yeah, he looks very different.
Up, here he goes. Angelo's about to tell us episode 3.
Okay, what do you got for us, Angelo?
We got a few minutes. We're going to eventually be ending this soon, but we got a few more minutes left. So if you want to tell the third one, this is a good chance for you to tell us.
Yes. So, but yeah, like I should mention, Quarantine actually does have a sequel called Quarantine Terminal, which takes place at an airport, and again, ditches the whole found footage aspect of it.
What is it with such found footage movies that they start off as found footage, and then when they get to the sequels, they no longer focus on, like, for example, another good example of a found footage movie that changed. The Last Exorcist. The Last Exorcist. The first movie was completely found footage, but by the second time they did the second movie, when they did the second one, it was no longer found footage. I never saw this. I've only ever seen the first one, but I remember seeing the trailer. I remember seeing the commercials, and I recall that I'm like, this isn't found footage like it was with the first one. So they're actually they're trying. They for years they've been trying to make a third movie, which I'm already believing already. If they make a third one, then they're going to be far off from where it originally started with the found footage. I just don't get it. What is it with these movies that start off as found footage movies and then become just normal movies? The only series that seems to get away without ever becoming real movies, undoubtedly, is the Paranormal Activity movies.
Yes, definitely. And there's even found footage movies that are like sequels to what started off as not found footage. Open Water, remember that one?
Yep.
Yeah,
Open Water.
yeah, that went all over the place. It started off with a second film that had no sharks in it, and then the third film, Open Water 3, Cage Dive, which did have sharks in it, but then it was a found footage movie. It's
Yeah,
like
it's
that,
like the
that
opposite way around.
yeah, it's like that could have been interesting. A found footage movie where you're alone at sea with sharks. That could have been good, but yeah, they even found a way to mess that up.
That's sad.
Yeah.
Because that would have made a good movie. Because honestly, other than that, we haven't really seen a real movie like that, a found footage movie involving sharks like that. So, and
Yeah.
it's funny. I was just watching just last night. You ever seen that? You ever seen that television show? I Survived. You ever seen that show?
Yeah,
Good show, right?
good
It's
show.
disturbing, but it's a great story of like people like surviving such horrific events. I mean, most of the time it's usually crime-related ones, but they also, they also expand to people who've gone through disasters, accidents, animal attacks, even anything you could think of. And I was just watching an episode last night where it involved a group of people that got, well, their ship sank. No, their boat sank, and they were all out in the water. And I never once heard them say about sharks, although they said that was on their mind while they were in the water, though they never said anything about it. But I already, every time I see something like that, whether it's from Shark Week or from the show, I could always view a movie like that involving found footage with sharks. Oh, up here it is. The Nun is about a nun turns into a monster at night. She grows fangs and big bat wings, and her upper body separates from her lower torso before flying away and kills her. That sounds like, actually, where have I heard of something like that? There is a legend based on that. Oh my God, what the hell? Where did I hear that from? Hold on, give me a second. If you want to say anything, Don, I gotta type something because I know I've heard of a story like that before. That is based off of an actual legend.
Oh, yeah, trying to think of what that is.
It's like a female bat monster where its head actually flies off. I'm just looking at
Jeepers
up
Creepers.
right
Oh
now.
yeah, a Jeepers Creepers that I will.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I was saying, yeah, kind of like Jeepers Creepers. Yeah, that's a horror film that I'm not going to cover on this podcast because of, yeah, we mentioned before on this podcast with what Victor Salva has done in the past.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good movie, but the director of that movie has quite a dark past.
Yes.
Oh man, where the hell was it? It's like right at the tip of my tongue. Where have I heard of that story? Maybe the flying head, or
I think so.
Oh, I'm gonna have to look for. It's like it's like so. It's like annoying right now. I cannot even think of it. I've heard of a story like that based on the Nun. It deals with like this. I think it actually might be involving Asian culture. I don't know if it's in the Philippines, but I think it's somewhere out in Asia where it does deal with some bat-like, like female bat-like creature where its head detaches from its body and flies off into the night. It's kind of based, honestly, Don, if you kind of think about it, that kind of serves as the inspiration for, obviously, you remember the show Lost Tapes with that episode of Cave Demons. And they said that, if you remember the segment, this is true, which is throughout the history of warfare, both fact and fiction, soldiers have had close and strange encounters with unearthly winged, usually female creatures. So that what Angelo is talking about might be based off of one of those legends. Not saying that it's soldiers have encountered it, but I know I've heard of a story like that before. I just can't remember it's been so long. I just cannot even remember what the name of it was, but I know the story of it. It's like a vampire, it's like a vampire gargoyle, female bat-like creature of some sort. It's associated somewhere in Asia. It might be the Philippines. I'm not sure. If not, I'm around Asia, but I just can't remember. It's been a couple of years.
I see. Yeah. Well, Nick, we're gonna have to end this episode. Nick?
Yeah, unfortunately, it's getting late. I mean, yeah, I'm here. The connection was freezing again. So, but yeah. Oh, geez. Look who just decided to show up, Jill. Hey. Osaswana Philippines culture. That's what it was. Oh. Yes. Thank you, Jill. Oh, that finally lifts the weight off my shoulders for that. But Jill, I hate to tell you this though. We're actually just about to jump off because it's getting late.
Yeah, sorry, Jill.
Yeah, Don's gotta get. Oh wait, Angelo. It's called the Oh my God, how do you even say that word? Mananangol? I don't even know how to pronounce that right. It's about a woman who grows bat wings and flies to kill and eat its victims.
Oh.
That's probably what it is. Yeah, okay. So it is associated. It is associated then with the Philippines then. Okay.
Okay, Jill. Yeah, be sure to watch the replay.
Take care, Jill.
Yeah, take care,
and just right before we get off, let me just make a quick announcement for the shows that are coming up. Yep. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to see as much as I really want to. I'm not really sure if I'm going to be able to do a episode of Nick Files tomorrow because, well, first off, I'm actually sitting in a different chair right now here in my office, and the other chair my office chair kind of broke, which we're trying to fix. And also, this is kind of a really uncomfortable chair right now, so I've been sitting in this for a while. So with that being said, until I have my office chair repaired, I can't sit comfortably and put my presentation together. So unfortunately, there might not be an episode of Nick Files tomorrow. But if not, we'll definitely pick up for next week. For Supernatural Talk on Thursday, I think it's just going to be open mic night. However, Jeremy and I were talking about this earlier today, and we are. Well, actually, I'm gonna ask him tomorrow if he'd be interested in being a guest on our show. I actually am trying to get an investigator. This is interesting, Don. We're actually trying to get not only someone who's an investigator, but he's also a filmmaker. We're actually trying to get someone all the way from Norway onto the show. Nice. I know, of course, obviously Norway is in the same time zone as the UK, no, not exactly. About an hour less, I think, than the UK is. See, ironically enough, when it comes to time zones, usually like Europe is all the same. They're about 5 hours ahead. I think the UK is the only part of Europe that's, I think, 6 hours ahead. So, but anyways, we're gonna try to get him on. I'm gonna ask him tomorrow because I already know it's late out in Norway. He lives in the capital, Oslo. So we'll see if we can get him on. And then also too, I haven't even announced this on Facebook yet. Jill, you thought I should let you know about this too. Starting before I even do Supernatural Talk, starting on Thursday afternoons, I'm actually going to be co-hosting a new show. So this means, get this, I am now officially co-hosting and hosting with my own show included. I'm doing not one, but 5 shows now. So now when it comes to the week, I'm with you on Tuesdays. Wednesdays, I'm doing my show, which of course, like I said, I can't do it because my presentation's not completed yet. And Thursday, I'm doing 2 shows. I'm doing, and the show that I'm doing, by the way, it's going to be a little bit different. It's not really going to focus a lot on the paranormal. It's actually going to be more of a crime show. I'm actually going to be co-hosting with Lois Haddo, all the way out from Scotland, in fact. So it's quite an honor to be doing a show from one of my countries of ancestry, Scotland. So we don't have a specific title yet as far as I know. But anyways, the first episode we're going to be talking about Jeffrey Dahmer. So it's going to be focusing on a lot of like serial killers and unsolved murders. So it will definitely be a great show. And honestly, that's and also too, I'm going to be joining also Lois and Vivian and Dan of Simply Spooky on Friday on their upcoming show this Friday because they want to do a special for Save Waverly Hills. So yeah, sorry, didn't mean to make that long, but we got a lot of exciting stuff coming up. So yes, Wednesday and tomorrow, unfortunately, I may not be able to do my show. Thursday, unless the investigator from Norway comes on, it might just be open mic. Thursday is also the day when I'm going to be starting this new show with Lois on this crime show, and that's pretty much it.
All right,
so
nice.
There's going to be hopefully you guys can tune in. It's going to be and Lois did tell me too. Jill, you should know this too. Lois also did tell me that she already talked to Jeremy, and this new show that we're going to be on, it will be on. It will also be here on the It will also be here on the Things Network.
All right, nice. Okay, so yeah, can't wait to see all that. And yeah,
Tom's here.
Tom, hi Tom. Yeah, sorry, we're just wrapping this up, man.
He didn't say anything, but good to see you.
Yep.
Thanks, Jill.
Nice, Jill. Yes. So thank you all for tuning in, and we'll be back again next Tuesday with another film to cover. So hope you guys enjoyed. Have a good night. See ya.